Welcome. Welcome to Moments of Connection. My name is Irisaida Mendez, Executive Director for Univision Foundation, hence the accent, and also your host for Session 7. Session 7 is called Moments of Connection. And moments of connection can happen while you're standing waiting for coffee in that espresso long line that was there. Could happen at the elevator, a witty comment that you may hear, or maybe sharing a ride from the hotel to a restaurant. But this is not really about those moments of connections. What you're going to see in Session 7 is what happens next. These 2 days have been about systems, strategy, collaborations, networks. But impact does not move at the speed of information. It moves at the speed of what we are willing to carry forward. So this is why I want to pause. I'm going to pause without my phone. I need that for my notes later. So I want to take this moment and pause, and then we're going to talk about something simpler, maybe something harder. Today, I want to talk about a little bit more than any ideas, partnerships, or possibilities that you have heard throughout the past 2 days. Where do you stand in all this? So let's dive into this personal journey. I want to hear about your voice, your purpose, and your role into what's next. Let's do something, and I love this challenge. In 6 words or less, tell me a lesson from this summit. 6 words. Find your words, carry them forward, right? Anybody gonna try it? Too hard? Let's do 7 words then. Anybody want to try a lesson, 7 words?
Collaboration.
I'm sorry?
Collaboration.
Do not vision? Collaboration. Oh, she went to 1 word.
Still a lot of work to be done.
Still a lot of work to be done. You can do a contraction there, and you're going to get them. Yes. Stand a little bit higher for them. Yeah.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Closed mouth, don't give in. Wow. So I'm going to give a little bit of time for you to think of something like that, because if it's not said shortly and meaningfully, then it's not easy to convey yet. And this is what you really want to take home. So connections happen when other people actually feel seen enough to engage. That moment is the elevator, that moment in the coffee, that moment on the ride. It's a spark, but connection is not automatic. It's our choice to build them, to cultivate them, to sustain them. All these connections need to have intention and meaning. And in order for them to have intention, you have to start with 1. Start with yourself. And once you have that ready, once your message is shorter, then you can build that connection. I've seen this in my work over and over and over. In order for connections to be successful, we grow, we connect, and we lead. What is one thing you have heard today that you will actually apply? I don't want to hear 5 things, just 1 that is really impactful that you will apply whenever you go home. Unity. Community. Somebody else? Okay, something real enough that you, whenever you go home and you share it, Let's work around this now with one person that you have met today, whose work, whose perspective, or whose energy really stayed with you. I don't want to know a connection, a contact, not a contact, a connection. Just think about that. Can you identify that one person? What are you going to do? Are you going to follow up? Are you going to build something together? Or will that moment just stay here? And with everything that you have learned and heard, how will you lead differently when you go back? Not the theory, I mean the practice. Will you listen differently? Will you fund differently? Will you collaborate differently? Will you hold space differently? The power of connection goes beyond those doors. This ballroom matters, but it does not create impact on its own. What you do after this summit finishes is what creates the impact. The power of connection is in the choices that we make tomorrow, it's in the conversations we follow up on, is how we show up for the communities that we serve together. Connection is built from within, one decision at a time. So years ago, I learned this in a place very far from this ballroom when I was working in Ghana. And I learned these lessons not as something that is an old wisdom. I learned it that is something that actually people there live by. And it has lived with me ever since. This is how this room becomes something bigger today. This is how the spark from the elevator becomes a fire. And this is how these moments of connection happen and grow. And now, let's see how these moments of connections have been happening since different organizations and different partners in the community have started building together. So for our first session, we're going to be having, and I need my notes over here now. For our first session, we're going to be talking about the innovative approach for advancing healthcare access. And I'm going to ask you to please help me welcome to the stage Diana Blackman from Sanofi, Randevin Pierre from Viv Healthcare, and Jamal Miller from Common Spirit